Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Last episode, I shared with you a great insight that I had, and I promised to share with you how that insight is playing out in my life right now. But I realized that before I get into that, it's really important that I share with you how I arrived at that insight in the first place, so that you can fully appreciate what a massive shift it has been for me. And when I tell you about how it's playing out in my life, you'll be able to appreciate the massiveness of that shift that much better. So it all started out last year when I was at a personal development conference. And one part of the conference, one major part of the conference is for us to connect with our life mission and purpose and to work out a life like action plan for how we are going to live it out. Okay, now most people at the conference were starting from scratch. They had no idea what their life meaning and purpose was, or had no idea how they were going to live it. The lucky few people in the room who went in, and I already had a sense of, not only a sense, but actually I felt like I had a lot of clarity even about what my life meaning and purpose was, and I already had developed a plan that I was following through on for how I was going to live it. But I've told you this before also, that this is the kind of process that it's not enough that you just go through it once and then you are done. No, it's like, because life happens and things change and grow, and we change and grow as life happens, right? And so our goals and dreams and visions can change and grow as well. So I know this and I implement what I teach. Okay, so I go into this, I knew that this was going to be a major aspect of the conference, and I was ready for that, and I was like really excited to go through this process again, and not just be going through it on my own, but to go through it in an environment where it was being facilitated. So the good news was that once we got into the visioning part of the process, and the visions began to emerge for how we were going to live our life meaning and purpose, I had a lot of great validation in terms of, yes, this part of the vision is still there. Like I knew this was something that I needed to do, and I'm on track with it. Excellent, keep going, right? So for example, it was like, Samia, coaching and training. Yes, coaching and training is a great thing. Keep doing it. It's like, okay, and then we also, by the way, want to write a book. It's not our first priority for right now, but eventually we do want to write a book as well that becomes another way that we share what we have experienced and what we have learned. So there's that. And oh yes, you need to practice becoming an even better speaker, right? And like not just speaking to small rooms, but get ready, get prepared, start getting trained to speak to large crowds potentially, like of thousands of people. And by the way, also media. We are going to use media as a way to amplify our message. Because we have to reach the world. We have to help the world, become free of suffering. So we have to start using these kinds of mass mediums, so that our message can disseminate fast and to the masses in an effective way. It's like, okay, great, awesome. And then it says, and another thing, we have to build a university that's going to become the platform through which we are going to share our message and model how to live it. I was like, whoa, stop right there. Wait. What did you just say? We need to create a university. I was like, are you sure we're... Yeah, I know. We have our school. I have it in the plans. I've had it in the plan. I'm just like 3 years away from the timeline that I developed, the 10-year plan to create the school. And my best self's like, no. The school is... See, the idea of the school is just not big enough. It's not hairy and audacious enough. It's not strong enough to hold our vision, to be the vehicle for our vision of a world free of suffering. We need a university. And actually, it's not just going to be a single campus, It's going to be many campuses, multiple campuses, hundreds of campuses spread throughout the world. But we are going to start with one, just establishing one university campus as the model for how to live a life of thriving, a life free of suffering, a life full of inner peace and joy. In every aspect of life, in every area of existence and being, we have to model that. And the school is just not a big enough platform to make that happen. We need the university. And then it shows me a vision of the university, just the first university campus that we need to establish. And it's like, like how I'd envisioned my school as one old warehouse that was converted, and it could hold maybe like a few hundred students. Well, now one of those school now becomes just one department within my university, and we have at least 4 different departments within the university already identified. And it has to be like organic, the structure. It's like organic for the university, because over time, there are going to be more departments that get added. And it's not just like university, like a bunch of buildings. It's like, no, it's like spread out. We have like at least 30, 40 acres of land over which the university is spread out, and it's all nestled between these lush, green, botanical gardens. And every single, it's like aspect of how the university is built, what it is built with, how it is run, how it's maintained, how it functions, the people that work there, the staff, the faculty, even the students, the culture that we create within that university for everything and everyone that makes up the university. It is all, just the it's like as environmentally friendly and socially responsible as it's possible to make anything that exists. It's like, because we have to live our values. This is a place that is going to manifest the living of the principle, this reality that all is one. And because all is one, we have to love for others what we love for ourselves. Because all is one, because everything is interconnected, interdependent, we have to do unto others as we would have to have them do unto us. We have to get, it's like symbiotic relationships, collaborative relationships, win-win relationships between people and planet, between people and everything that exists within the planet. In fact, within the universe. So this university has to become a living model, a living manifestation of all is one. And we just start, this is just one campus that we start with. We prove that, this model works, and we show the immense benefits and the rewards that we can achieve by manifesting the living of this principle. And once we have the proven model, then we spread it. It spreads like wildfire throughout the world. And so we help to create a world free of suffering by empowering people with the skills and the knowledge that they need to live with inner peace and joy in every aspect of their lives. So it's like, okay, wow, this is an amazing vision. What a great vision. I love it. And so I'm like, even right now, by the way, I can't stop smiling, because whenever I bring this vision to consciousness, it's like so much the vision of my heart, my soul, my best self, that I cannot but help feel so elated and happy and excited and passionate. And so it was at that time. I was like, awesome, let's do this. So I was on this high, and then, after you go through this whole visioning process, guess what comes next? That's right. We have to begin to create action plans around, okay, how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to live out this vision? And it was when I started to create the action plan, and more specifically, when I began to create a timeline for when I was going to, accomplish this vision. It was my own best self, of course, because this is not work that you want to be doing from your mind. Okay, you just don't. This is not the area of expertise for your mind. So at least not if the thing that you value most, the outcome that you value most is inner peace and joy and contentment and love and passion. Because those are not the areas of expertise of your mind. Those are the expertise of your heart and your soul. So if you're going to create action plans and timelines that are the most likely to lead to these outcomes of inner peace and joy and contentment and passionate living, then you need to make sure you're coming up with your plans and your timelines from a place of being connected and from a place of being congruent with your heart and soul and the direction that they give you. And your heart and soul, by the way, are also what they are aspects of your best self, or your best self is an aspect of your heart and soul. So I interchangeably use all these terms. You can choose whatever term you feel most comfortable with. So anyway, so I start working on this timeline, and I say to my heart, okay, heart, best self, by when do we have our first university campus established? And my heart says, 3 years from now. I'm like, what? 3 years from now? What are you talking about? I mean, do you not just realize, like, 3 years from now is when we are going to, or when we were planning to have the first school established, if we had continued to follow through on the 10-year plan. But this, you just, just massively, change the vision. I mean, it's like just this huge upgrade. I mean, even the word upgrade is like too small to describe the magnitude of the shift in the vision, just how much more bold and hairy and audacious it is. I mean, what are you talking about? You want me to finish it and accomplish this vision in the next 3 years? I mean, shouldn't I get maybe another 10-year deadline? I mean, extension on the deadline or something? So that I could get ready to implement this hugely developed vision of the university. And my heart is like, no, you are ready. You already know everything you need to know. You already have everything you need to have. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I'm still not done getting everything I need and learning everything that I need just to establish the little school. And this is 4 times, 5 times, 10 times bigger a project. What do you mean I already have everything that I need? And it's like, Samia, you know what? When in 2007 you saw that vision for the school, even then you knew everything you needed to know, and even then you had everything you needed to have. But you didn't believe in that. You didn't realize that. You didn't see that. You weren't connected with that part of your reality, because then you didn't know how to connect to us. You didn't know how to, or at least not at the level at which you know now. But now you know better. Now you know better. You know all is one. You know all is one. If all is one, then we are one with all that is. And if we are one with all that is, then we don't need 10 years to make this happen. We are already connected to all the abundance of the universe. We don't need 10 years to make this happen. You don't need to learn everything yourself. You don't need to have everything yourself. You just need to learn how to access the abundance, access the resources that you need by using the connections that you already have. You're already connected to everything that is. We just need to use those connections. Just have to stay grounded in this knowing that all is one. And so it is. That's the key right there. If you can stay grounded. See, that's the challenge. It's like even in 2007, I knew at a level of theory that all is one. And I accepted that at the level of theory. But, there's different levels at which we can implement any idea. And I implemented it then in my life at the level of growth that I had achieved up to that point. But now, it's like 8 years later, and I've grown so much in those last 7-8 years. That now I'm able to play at a completely different level. And I need, therefore, to play at a completely different level. Otherwise, I'm not doing justice to my own capacities, to my own strengths, and to my own faith. So now I'm committed to taking action to not only have that school established by the end of 2017, but to actually have my very first university campus established by the end of 2017. So how is that working out? Well, let's talk about it next episode. In the meanwhile, I want to give you a quick reminder that if you haven't already, please go to iTunes and leave this show a 5-star rating so that other people can also find it much more easily. It's just one quick, simple way you can show me your love. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.